The heat in the kitchen of Les Petites Palais was a physical weight, but Elena released it. It was 2015 and the culinary scene in downtown Chicago was exploding. At 55, Elena had poured every cent of her late husband's life insurance and her own 20 years of catering savings into this bistro. It was not just a business, it was a legacy for her daughter, Chloe, and Chloe's husband, Marcus. Elena had even stepped back into the role of head chef to keep their overhead low while Marcus managed the front of house and Chloe handled the branding. Elena was plating a delicate duck confit when her tablet chimed with a notification from the restaurant's primary business account. She wiped her brow and tapped the screen. It was a wire transfer. Confirmation for $60,000 moved to a private offshore account she did not recognize. Below it was a thread of emails between Chloe and Marcus that had been accidentally forwarded to the info address Elena monitored. The words were called surgical. Chloe had written that the bistro was actually ripe. They were planning to force a buyout by claiming Elena's declining mental state made her a liability in the kitchen. Marcus replied with a plan to sell the equipment, pocket the remaining renovation loan Elena had co-signed, and move to Los Angeles to start a boutique PR firm. They referred to her as the golden goose whose time was up. Elena did not scream, she did not drop the plate, she finished the service, her movements precise and icy. The next morning, she did not go to the bistro. Instead, she went to the bank. She discovered that Marcus had been skimming from the payroll tax fund for months, leaving her legally vulnerable as the primary owner. The betrayal was not just a for future plan, it was a current bleeding wound. She called a meeting at the restaurant that afternoon. Chloe and Marcus arrived, looking annoyed that she'd pulled them away from a networking brunch. Elena sat them down at table 12, the one by the window where they'd celebrated the grand opening. She did not lead with anger, she led with the wire transfer. The lies started immediately. Excuses about hedging investments and protecting her future, but Elena had already spent the morning with a forensic accountant and a sharp-eyed attorney. She laid out the reality. She was dissolving the partnership immediately because Marcus had committed financial fraud with the tax funds. She had grounds to void their equity. Chloe's face shifted from false concerns to a mask of pure venom. She told Elena that if she went through with this, she would never see her granddaughter, Maya, again. She called her mother bitter, lonely old woman who was jealous of their youth and ambition. That was the moment the bridge burned. Elena did not flinch. She told them they had 1 hour to clean their personal belongings. If they ever used Maya as a pawn again, she would hang the evidence of Marcus' tax fraud to the authorities. She watched them leave, feeling a strange, hollow lightness. 6 months later, the bistro was gone. Elena did not want the ghost of their betrayal haunting the walls. She told the lease to a rising star chef. She sold the lease to a rising star chef and walked away with a clean, modest profit. She moved to a small town in the Pacific Northwest, a place where the air smelled of salt and cedar instead of grease and ambition. She opened a tiny four-tabled bakery that only operated 3 days a week. No business partners, no co-signed loans, just flour, water, and peace. The twist came on a Tuesday morning. Chloe appeared at the door looking haggard and broken. Marcus had left her in LA after their new venture failed, taking what little money they had left. She begged for a place to stay, for a loan, for family loyalty. Elena looked at her daughter, really looked at her. and realized she did not feel the old, desperate need to fix things. She felt a quiet, firm boundaries. She handed Chloe the name of a local shelter and a contact for a job placement agency in the next town over. She told her she could see Maya every weekend, but Chloe was not invited to live under her roof or her bank account. As Elena closed the bakery door that evening, she was the sun set over the Puget Sound. She had lost the restaurant, her daughter's respect, and a significant portion of her savings. But as she needed the dough for the next day's bread, she realized she had finally gained the one thing she'd been missing all those years in the heat of the Chicago kitchen, her own life.